Now, coming to tonight's session. So, you know that data science is undergoing deep changes now, and that the career landscape is changing drastically. And the corona issue doesn't make it any easier. So, how do you fit into this new chaotic world? And so this is a great opportunity to clarify all your doubts in data science careers or generally in your career. So your questions can be, how is data science relevant to me? Or, what companies are hiring? Are companies hiring? Or, what are the different roles available? And how will this program help me? Or do I need programming skills? Or, this can be any kind of questions. So we have two great mentors with us tonight. So Professor Pinkesh Shah, he's an ex-Global VP at McAfee. He's a senior faculty with IPL, and he's a great mentor. So he's the right person to go to if you have any kind of career dilemma, any kind of skill development dilemma. So, he's the best person. We have him with us tonight and make use of this opportunity. And we have Professor Joydeep Raha, who's a data science expert. He's worked in the space of data science for quite some time. And so he's also here with us. So welcome, Professor Shah and Professor Joydeep. So I'm handing this session over to you. So to the attendees, if you can raise your hand, I can unmute you, and I would suggest you take this opportunity to interact one-on-one with our faculty. Okay, so yes, handing the session over to you, Professor Shah and Professor Joydeep.
Hey, thanks, Menka, and good evening to the gang. Happy to go over your questions. Being, and of course, Joydeep is I think here as well. So feel free to direct your question either to any one of us. But just a quick background, having spent a lot of time on the business side, I can tell you one of the most exciting times right now for any profession is to actually learn elements of data science. Data science is no longer just for data scientists. I think as many of you know now, data science is expected to become almost as ubiquitous as Excel has become. Even though it was originally set up for a bunch of accountants, today even a musician cannot survive and thrive without an Excel, right? And I think in some sense, analyzing data, visualizing data, inferring certain business decisions from data are all very, very crucial skills, primarily for what we call a data analyst role. Or if you're in a senior, career path, a data savvy manager or data smart manager. But quite honestly, this is true for every professional, whether you're in engineering or a product manager. But analyzing data is a very crucial skill. So I think certainly an important area for all of you to think as well. But happy to take some questions.
Great.
Yeah,
Professor Joydeep, could you
yeah,
introduce yourself and please start?
yeah. I
Yes,
just
please.
want to add on to what Professor Pinkesh has just mentioned. The key fact that coming from a practitioner background, I have seen and practiced the use of data, and I've seen from very close quarters how it helps in solving or aiding in business problems and decision making. And therefore I have mentored a lot of teams in my past corporate careers. So I would request everyone to feel free to ask any questions across any levels where you are in, because I've seen it inside out, and I can give you certain perspectives with respect to how data is important either to solve business problems or help in certain business decision making. So please go ahead, feel free to ask questions from wherever, whichever level you are in, whichever clarification you want. Please feel free to ask any questions with respect to data, and as Pinkesh mentioned, across different fields and domains as well.
Thank you so much. So I see some of the familiar names. So why don't we start introducing ourselves, right? Akanksha, I'm going to allow everybody to talk. Please feel free to introduce yourself. Give us a little background of what what you're doing, and what kind of doubts you have. So Akanksha, Amit, Bharat, Charvi, I have allowed all of you to speak. Please come out.
Hello,
Hi,
this is Akanksha, ma'am.
Hi Akanksha, please go ahead.
I am from Pune. So I want to ask about means Python is necessary for the data analytics, right?
Yeah, correct.
Please go ahead and ask it.
So can we, can you give brief of me about Python and relation between Python and data analytics?
Okay, can I answer this?
Yes.
Menka?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Akansha, what your initial understanding is right. See, data analytics needs a tool. As Pinkesh said, it can be an Excel, it can be Python, it can be R, or going forward, it can be any other programming language or tool. It can be done in C, C++ also. So the reason why Python, so please understand that Python is a tool which will help you in analyzing the data in a much more faster and in a manner. That's it. The concept of data science is a concept which will remain. Tools may change. So today, Python is the preferred tool. If you look at any of the programming popularity tools, you will see.
Yeah, Python is booming now.
Yeah, it is booming now, and it will continue to boom over a period of time because of various factors, various features of Python. Essentially, that it is very friendly. It is very easy to learn Python. Initially, you will feel that the Python is just like a calculator. Then you can then you get a feel that it is like a Excel, and then from there you get a flexibility of turning the data into the way you would like to analyze the data through some codes and programming. That's it. That's about it. That's Python, or that's for that matter any tool. So it's very easy to learn, and it is very essential to do data analysis through a tool. And in that context, Python is coming up as a very strong and effective tool.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And anybody else, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, am I audible? Amit here.
Yes, Amit, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, my question is actually about me. Brief. I have around 18-19 years of experience in IT. So after doing this 5 months or 7 months course, in data science. So how should I look the market as, and how market is going to look me as? My question is that.
Would you like to take this, Professor Shah?
Yeah. So when you have 10+ years of experience, you have to almost start looking at your career path as what I called a composite set of skills, not a singular skills, but a composite set of skills. And this is very important because otherwise you will not be able to sustain your advantage over perhaps a more a lesser experienced and yet highly effective set of workforce, right? So there is a curse of 1/3 that we always talk about. So 1/3 curse means somebody is going to be available at 1/3 your cost with 1/3 your skills, and the company may just quite say, you know what, it's good enough. And I think everybody who's got 7+ years, 10+ years of experience is going to somehow face and confront this 1/3 curse. So in that context, when you have cross-functional specialist skills, you become a lot more immune to these types of things and you keep on growing. So if you're an engineer, or if you're a product manager, or if you're a QA developer, or a business analyst, all of these roles, when you add data analysis and data analytics to it, you become a lot more powerful decision maker. Not just a decision maker, but a powerful decision maker, because data is going to drive most of the conversation at a business level, right? So answering your question more crisply now, at the end of such programs, you will not only learn how to understand the foundation of statistics, understand the application of prescriptive and predictive analytics, understand enough of data wrangling, data scrubbing, so that you can make better decisions. And you can allow in your engineering team, sorry, in your organizational teams to make better decisions. So think about this as a very singular way of understanding, is that you will have the ability to make more data driven decisions, and that is allowing you to now propel to new leadership career paths within any zone, whether you're a data zone, a product zone, a pure business zone, pure engineering zone, it doesn't matter.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Amit, would you have any other question?
I have, but I'll book a time slot for that.
Sure, sure. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
you.
you. Bharat, I see that you have a question.
Yeah,
Yeah, please
yeah,
go.
yeah. This is Bharat. Actually, I'm new to the IT field. Right now, I'm having some 0.8 months of experience.
Okay.
So I have been working as a full stack developer. But I wanted to switch my career to the data analyst thing. So, but the thing is, I'm not that good at coding. One of my colleague was working as a reporter, like he used to do reports for the company. So by looking at him, I had some knowledge in maths and statistics. So I thought that I could move on to that since I know some SQL part. I'm good at SQL. So like, what is the difference between BI analyst, a data analyst, and a data scientist? Like, what will be they doing in the future? Like, if I take up a BI analyst role, like, what will I be doing? If I take up a data analyst, like, what is the scope of it? May I know?
Joydev, would you like to take that?
Yeah. So first, coding. You are, although please don't constrain yourself with the fact that you have very less experience in coding. Nobody is born a coder, and please understand that coding actually is very interesting and it is very easy once it follows a particular logic. Once you follow that logic, and you don't need to memorize any codes, please, it's very important. Don't constrain or don't load your mind with the fact that, oh, I have to memorize this codes or all. You don't need to. You just need to understand the logic, understand the expressions of the code, and practice different situations. Automatically you will learn coding. That's one way of learning coding, rather than sitting and memorizing the codes and then trying to sort of implement those. So that's point number one. So I hope I have answered your first apprehension about the fact that you are not good at coding. Nobody is good or bad. It is just that how they apply that tool to solve a particular skill set which they have acquired. Okay. Now, coming to your second question between machine learning and data analytics and BI. See, at IPL, we being a practitioner, we come from a practitioner background, so we very well understand the needs of the business. And data science per se is a very wide field. It starts from analysis to predictive to finally designing automated systems. So that's the width of the canvas with data science under data science. Now, so here the skill sets required for machine learning or to be a data scientist involves that you need to understand machine learning. Now, I will not delve too much into machine learning aspect, but it is mostly to do with the predictive part of it. Now, then you come, before getting into that, you have to understand the data properly. You need to know you need to have a complete command over the data. And so that's where data analytics comes in, right? So there you will look at the data, you will look at creating certain insights out of the data, prepare the data for predictive algorithms, which comes under machine learning. So that's the difference, key difference between a data scientist who is an expert in machine learning versus a data analyst who looks at the data, analyze the data. In fact, most of the business cases you can solve, or you can look at arrive at certain business decision making not by going into the machine learning or being data scientist. Please remember, but that doesn't mean that there is no role for data scientists. There is a huge role, but I'm trying to make it clear that at times most of the business cases can be solved by just looking at the data and analyzing the data properly and aligning those data inferences with your business problems. And then you take it to the next level on predictive and so on and so forth. And then you move a ladder up. So I hope I have answered your question with respect to data analyst and data scientist. A data scientist deals with algorithms, essentially with different types of algorithms which are used. It deals with different types of data analytic processes like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, whereas a data analyst will look at data and see how I can get maximum insight out of the data by running the data, by looking at data visualization techniques, by looking at data munging, data manipulation, and so on and so forth. Both are, so these roles are, although in layman term, these roles are very different, but at some point, at a particular level, it does converge. For example, you cannot be a good data scientist if you are not a good data analyst, and vice versa. A good data analyst is actually a good recipe or a good can progress very nicely onto the data scientist role. So these are very interchangeable roles, and they have however, from an industry point of view, there are different verticals. So you will have different verticals for data analyst, you have different verticals for data scientist because of the inherent different types of functions which comes in under different verticals. So I hope I'll be able to answer your question on these two things.
Yeah, like what I've understood is the analyst mainly focuses on visualization. The scientist focuses both on algorithm as well as visualization part.
I won't say only analyst doesn't work. Okay, visualization is a very quick way of deriving insights out of the data. It's a very important skill. At the same time, analyst's role also is to go beyond visualization. Visualization is nothing but it's a way to represent the data after you have done the analysis and show it and get quick inferences. So that's one tool which a data analyst has in their arsenal. Apart from that, you need to do a lot of data analysis, which may or may not mandate a visualization. But conclusion, or you have to conclude a particular what should I say, particular business problem, then you can use data visualization to conclude that or build a story and say that this is what the data is telling me through a visualization. But before that, you need to do a lot of data analysis process. And so is the case for data scientists also, because once you have done the key predictive analytics, you need to visualize the data and you need to visualize your inferences in a very nice visualization through a very nice visualization technique. So visualization goes across both data scientists as well as for data analysts both. That's something which is universal to both, and it's one of the many techniques which are used.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Charvi, do you have a question?
No, ma'am, I don't have a question, but I would like to say I'm the odd one out in this room. I'm not even from a coding background.
Okay.
Not from the computer science background. I have a finance background basically, and right now I'm doing my interior design. And in the end, I would like to take on my dad's business. So how am I as an individual going to benefit from this?
Let me.
Okay, Pinkesh, go ahead. Yeah.
I can share 2 cents and then you can kind of add, right? So I think it's wonderful, by the way, that you. So I applaud you for 2 reasons, right? One, is coming from a design background. You are
And a
here,
finance background. Yeah.
sorry, a finance
Finance and
background.
design. Yes.
You know, you are now thinking about analytics and data, which is a very important shift that I think the rest of the industry and the rest of the professionals in other industries are also going to see. So you are definitely ahead in your vision and
Sorry, but
thinking.
I was thinking about this basically because it might help me with the business.
Correct. That's
Like
what I was
data
coming to.
analysis. Yeah, yeah,
That's what I was coming to.
yeah.
The second important thing is that, you know, most businesses are going to develop competitive edge and are going to grow primarily because they are going to somehow make better decisions using data.
Yeah.
Whether you are an ice cream shop
Mm-hmm.
who has to figure out how much ice cream to stock for the next 30 days based on historical purchase and sale of other ice creams in the neighborhood, or whether you are a e-commerce software IT type of company where you also want to analyze millions of parameters.
Excuse
uh,
me. Just a second. Can we take my own example? If I'm into real estate and construction, can we take that example and talk about the topic?
Yeah,
I'm
so you have to understand that what I'm trying to explain to you is applicable to any industry, right? And
okay.
so
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is all businesses are eventually going to require data-driven decision making, right? Now, since you
True.
insisted, you know, construction is another, you know, what parameters and attributes of that construction, you know, project are going to attract the customer more? Is
Mm-hmm.
it going to be the amenities? Is it going to be the price? Is it going to be the location? Is it going to be the size?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now,
Yes.
how will you make these decisions? Because one wrong decision and you can have a disastrous effect on that construction business, on that project. So
True.
understanding data, analyzing data, visualizing data is all important core skills that you will learn and you will be using no matter what industry you are in. So short answer is highly relevant for any industry, especially in the construction space where, in fact, thanks to COVID,
Yeah.
the one industry that's going to get the biggest hit is actually the construction industry.
True. Very true.
And in that context, how do you innovate now with you know, new models? How do you uncover how do you uncover customer preferences which are unconventional?
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be the name of the game, is going to be the differentiating factor for all entrepreneurs and business owners, right? So short answer is highly relevant.
Yes. Yes. Got it. Thank you.
I see some more raised hands. So Bharat, I guess you had any other question?
No.
Thank you. Now I see some other people also. Gaurav, would you like to introduce yourself and ask your question? We have Ibrahim, Pavan, Ramachandra. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, hi. This is Gaurav here.
Hi, Gaurav.
Yeah, I have been into retail and e-commerce from past about 10 years. So, well, I mean, I don't have any question as of now. I would scan the QR code and then I would get into one-on-one because I have a couple of other things which I need to discuss.
Sure. Sure. Anything generic you want to ask about data science, you can ask, or if you prefer a one-on-one, that's fine too. Anybody else?
I would prefer one-on-one because I had one or two questions which are already taken care of.
Perfect. Good.
One observation, I was going through the chat window and I see a lot of participants have posted this thing that I am not good at coding or I'm very new in coding, such type of queries. Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Suddenly my screen, yeah. So to which I would like to answer that, please don't get intimidated or let coding, knowledge of coding or no knowledge of coding doesn't matter. We already have 1 full month. Course number 2 is dedicated to Python programming basics. And that is all you need to know to, and it is designed in such a way, it's a very user friendly, it's not a theoretical course content, it's a course content which is being designed in a way where you will pick up the basics of the coding and go to the intermediate level of coding in Python in 1 month. And that should equip you with Python to a point where you can then apply those tools, use Python as a tool for further data wrangling and data science related skills. So there is one course within this program called Python programming, and that is for 1 month, and it is designed to give you that learning skills on coding, and it has got and it is designed, the delivery of the design is in such a way that we will demonstrate the coding through a business example, through our lab sessions. So there you'll get a feel of how coding works. We will explain the coding. First, we will explain the concept. Then we will take the concept and then put it on the coding platform, and we'll explain the concept through the coding language. So we will remember the applications of codes. And as I told earlier, you don't have to remember or mug up the codes. That will come automatically provided you understand why this code is there, and that those explanations will be given. You will be adequately handheld in that 1 month Python programming course. So please remove that apprehension from your mind that you are new to Python or you're new to programming and you don't know, or you are very weak in Python programming. I thought I'll just address this because I see a lot of queries coming in the chat window, as well as from the previous questions posed by the previous participants as well.
Thank you, Joydeep. Yes, that's a very important question. We get a lot of doubts on that. So we have another question from Pavan here. And if you don't mind, I would like to take that question. The reason is, so the question is this, Pavan wants to get into the investment banking, the stock market analysis, and he has some employment gap and he wants to know if data analytics will help him there. So Pavan, the reason I want to take this question is, so the investment banking and stock analysis was my passion, and let me assure you, data analytics is an absolute must-have skill for so there is not even an option of not having this skill. The reason is, when you start an investment banking job, the first thing that would be assigned to you would be either you will be given some accounts, the stock of those accounts which you will have to analyze on a day-to-day basis. So you might have to do some intraday predictive pricing or intraday analysis. So how accurate you are at advising the investor, that that is what will decide whether you have the job tomorrow or not, because it's a highly competitive area, and it's a must-have skill. So don't even think twice about that. And even as it is, to do stock analysis or ratio analysis, you need a little bit of technical skills like Excel skills. But these days there is, without data analytics skill, it's not a field that, you can shine in. So even if your idea is you're given us, let's hope that, you move on and you start handling a hedge fund or something, you need the skill. So Pavan, do you have anything? I would rather answer you for all your questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, please go ahead.
And one more thing, ma'am, as a fresher, we can get the opportunity in investment banking directly. I think mostly experience will be considered towards investment banking.
Not really. Could you give me your background?
Actually, I'm from bachelor's in hotel management domain.
Okay.
And I'm willing to start in investment banking domain only, since I have knowledge of stock market investments.
Okay. See,
Uh,
yeah, I understand. So let me be honest. See, some of the best investment banking or research companies, right? There are
yes.
small research companies like Amber Research in Bangalore. Okay, so
Okay.
they are one of the best, and they go for people who have passed out, an MBA in finance, and you go through 20 rounds of interview, not even 50. Okay, so that whatever. Now, if you're from a hotel management background, it's not that you cannot go into investment banking, but it is going to take a lot of effort. You might have to start with a smaller company who are doing very local kind of analysis, and then build your experience for at least a year, and then move on to companies like Amber Research or some other research companies that are there, a Deutsche Bank or in anywhere. But you will have to start in very low data analysis level. Now what happens there is they might give you they might not even start you on data analysis part. They might ask you to just clean the data,
Okay.
but it's absolutely fine, Pavan, because you want to start somewhere, and the foundation that you give today will matter a lot when you move ahead your career ladder. So I won't ask you to give up on your dream of investment banking, because I truly believe anything you want you can make it happen, just that you need to put in that effort. uh, but
Okay.
but yes, start reading a lot on the stock market, how it happens and everything, and start looking for those kind of companies which would give you a break. But to your other question, data analysis, yes, this will only help you crack that interview.
Okay.
Because even if you don't have a domain expertise, right? Domain expertise, somebody can coach you. But when you have data analytics, you are walking in with a very highly valued skill.
Okay. So in this data analytics, finance and accounts will be also taught or not?
No. So specifically, finance and accounts won't be taught in this program. But as Professor Joydeep said, this is a completely, a domain independent. Data analytics is used in any industry. So what I suggest for you is you take up a project which is a finance project, a stock market analysis, a stock analysis project.
Okay.
Can I add on to this, Minika?
Please. I'm so sorry I hogged the space.
No issue. Yeah. So this is a domain agnostic. Let's see, data science is domain agnostic, as Minika and before that Pinkesh also explained. Having said this, since you are from the or you have interest in the stock market, there is predictive analytics. There is one section called time series. And if you know that time series analysis is used very widely in stock market domain, right? So at least you will, so what this program will do is equip you with the basics of data analytics at one level, and also without getting deeper into your domain, will teach you a very important technique which is used in stock market prediction, which is time series. So you can, if you are equipped with these two skills, then if you are meeting a prospective interviewer, that will put you in a very strong position to pitch your case as to what you should be looking at, stock market analyst in a particular investment banker. So it gives you a starting point. Also, it takes you one notch higher in the time series course. Also already part of the data analytics module in course number 5.
Okay.
Hello, Bharat here. Actually, I have a question. I think this might be out of box, but still, since we are at a bad phase due to this COVID-19, like what will be the kind of opportunities after this ends? Maybe I have seen like there are many layoffs going on. Like what will be the opportunities?
Okay, so I can take that and Joydeep, feel free to add. So, there is no question that COVID is not just disrupting the economy, but it's also disrupting personal lives. There is no question about it. The amount of there's a lot of background noise. Can all of you put yourself on mute?
Could you all?
Yeah. So feel free to unmute whoever was asking the question, but you know, if you need to ask a follow-up. So what's happening now is that all businesses are going to be in a certain amount of stress. However, the amount of novelty and innovation that will be necessary in the next 2 years, particularly in the next 2 years, where businesses will have to now rethink their models, rethink their strategy, rethink their interesting kind of competitive, distinction, and all of this is going to require better analysis. So while there is a distress that's going to happen, those who have analytical skills, those who can look at the data and kind of inspire, a set of innovative actions, is the kind of.
I'm sorry. Could you all?
Yeah, I've muted everybody right now, so hopefully the echo doesn't come. So those are the kinds of professionals are now going to be more in demand. So in my view, while the situation is bad and will probably continue to be that way for a year, the rise and the need for people who are at the cross section of data and business are going to be extremely high in demand. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's an absolute great time to skill and build your stamina for skills, so that when the economy recovers or when the lockdown so-called comes up, you're kind of more ready to spring in action and claim those senior roles, senior opportunities, because it's going to be extremely high in demand.
To add to that, every economist is saying that we will, it's a known fact that, humanity, we have faced so many other things, but we have always bounced back. So most economists are expecting a V-shaped recovery. Now, in the worst case, there is a COVID attack again, we expect a W-shaped recovery. So it's not like, there is not going to be a recovery. It is only the time gap that might change. So, I mean, there is, this is not the end of the world. So the life will go on, competition will go on. We need to equip ourselves. And I think I have a question here from Anup. Anup has a question. Anup Ramesh. Jodit, could you take this? I want to know the difference between email and copy.
Yeah, Anup, again, I think I had answered it, but I will answer it this time in a slightly different way. See, there are three types of analytics: descriptive, prescriptive, and descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. Now, now descriptive analytics is nothing but, I'm not getting into a textbookish definition, but I'm just trying to summarize this. So in descriptive analytics, you just understand what has happened. It's past. You look at the data, you analyze the data, what has happened. Okay. Say for example, and you prepare reports, then you sort of, take the insights out of the data. So that's where descriptive analytics, as the name suggests, it describes the data which is already with you, right? So that is what we call it. So the topic covered, or the descriptive analytics in short, is what we talk about data analytics, or data, we analyze the data. Then comes the predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is nothing but what will happen. So first you know what has happened, then you predict a situation. So for example, if I take a telecom industry example, you first understand the lifetime value of a customer with respect to how valuable that customer is, what type of churns are happening, what is the pricing sensitivity or price elasticity with respect to the customer churn. These are all descriptive analytics or covered in data analytics. Then you go ahead and build a prediction saying that if the customer is of such attributes or parameters like say male, 15 years plus, working 25 years plus, 2 years in job, so this is the monthly income, these are the type of interventions which has happened with the call center in the last 1 month, then is he willing to move out from your network, say from Airtel to Reliance or whatever, or is he going to remain? So that is something which is what will happen. So that is predictive. So machine learning comes under that domain, which is predictive. So you use a lot of machine learning algorithms, different types of algorithms. I don't want to get into those details. And then you predict a certain event. And then, so that's machine learning. And then you go beyond that to prescriptive, which is like, having known this, what has happened and what will happen, how do you then look at solving that particular pain point or issues? So that's prescriptive. It's like this. When you go to a doctor, the doctor will say, first go and test your blood, test your entire diagnostic done. I want to see your blood report, I want to see your whatever reports, whatever is there. Then based on the reports, the doctor will recommend a certain medicines. And then you come back and then, that is what you say. So based on those reports, the doctor predicts that you are in a danger zone of X, Y, Z situations. Then, so that is predictive. And then the doctor recommends a set of medicines. That is prescriptive.
Could you please go on mute, everybody else? I'm so sorry.
There's a lot of disturbance here. Yeah. So I hope I have been able to answer your question with respect to difference between machine learning and data analysis.
Yes, sir. But see, I wanted to know, like, I'm into marketing. Okay. So the thing is, like, I have already spoken with Menaka ma'am, suppose a week ago. Like, I wanted to know, like, if someone approaches with me to me with a product, and I want to know what is it currently doing in the market, and I want to predict it, how it would perform, how the product perform in probably next 6 months or something like that. Should I go with the DA or ML?
Good question. Can I let me answer this? So
yeah,
marketing has got 4 P's, right?
Right.
Price, promotion, place, and so you have price, you have promotion, you have place, and then you have the 4th one, which is the 4th one. So packaging. Yeah. Okay. Now see, in marketing, the most important parameter which a lot of marketeers change. You can't change the product so easily. You can't change the distribution so easily. So the most important parameter which the marketer changes price. So that's why you see a lot of promos happening. At times, price rise happens. When the sales are down, people tend to do a promo, or if a competition is doing a promo, you get affected, your brand gets affected, and a lot of things, because that's the lever which is very easy to change. You can't suddenly change the distribution, right? It's very tough to change the distribution. So that's where, so you need to first, step one, you need to understand that which are the levers which you need to change. And then, so that is under data analytics. You look at the environment, you look at the environmental scoping, you look at the competition, map the competition, look at your positioning, look at your segmentation, look at your customers. All these things comes under data analysis. Okay. There are certain techniques of data analysis like clustering, which gives you reduces the data into insightful clusters from which you can derive insights, saying that I think my product is not important for these set of clusters, or these set of clusters are important, but my product is not appealing to these set of clusters, so I need to do certain repositioning, and so on. So I'm just giving you, since you asked me a marketing domain question, I'm just explaining them in the domain of marketing. Right. So these all are data analysis. Now then, after that, when your manager says, okay, if I reduce my price from say 100 rupees to 80 rupees, how much will my sales go up? It's a very important decision making which a business takes. Will my sales either go up? will I get increase, or will my market share go up, or will my absolute sales go up, or will either of the two or both goes up? That is something which comes under machine learning, where you use algorithms like regression, advanced regression to do. So both in marketing, you need the expertise of both data analysis and machine learning, both to solve the problem in marketing. I hope
so in data analysis as well as market, that machine learning, both they teach somewhat the same kind of tools. Like if you are teaching over here whatever SQL or something like that, they'll be teaching in ML also the same, right? Usage of same tool.
See, the tool remains the same. Tool here in this case is SQL and Python.
Sir, if you don't mind, can you please bring the mic a bit nearer?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Am I clear, audible?
Yeah, the voice is a bit low. That's it.
Is it fine?
Yeah, fine. Tell me, sir.
Yeah, see, the tool is the same. See, tool is agnostic of data, machine learning or data analysis. So Python is a tool, SQL is a tool, okay, which you need to learn to perform those skills or to demonstrate those skills. So please don't confuse between tools and the topic, which is data analysis. As I said, clustering is a concept. Now to do clustering, you can do it either through Excel as a tool, you can do it either through R as a tool, or you can do it either through Python or C++ or any other tools. So tools are used to do these type of analysis, whether it is in machine learning or data analysis. So you need to learn Python. In this case, in ICDA, we have chosen Python because it is the most widely used tool in business and in production.
Okay. Sir, and one more thing. See, look, I don't have any background of this CS or something like that, and it's just like a blunt question. So how is it, will it be easier for me to use these tools which I can learn from basics, or like everything, whatever I learn, it will be bouncing above my head?
I think
sorry, Joydeep. So before you answer that question, Anup, you are from Mysore, right?
Right, ma'am.
So let me give you a quick background. So Anup is one of the most inspiring people, Joydeep. So he's quite young and he's already, handling he has a company of his own. He does marketing for many brands. So I find it very inspiring. So my take is that, you should not have any problem. But anyways, please, Joydeep.
Yeah, same. I mean, Anup, don't get, again, I'm repeating the same thing again. Please remove the inhibition from your mind that, I have Python tool, I have to learn that. Will it take more time? Will I be able to cope up with it? Please, there is a 1 month, this course number 2, which in this program is dedicated to people, students like you, where we will teach you Python to a point where you will be more than sufficiently, you will learn the skills more than what is required to do basic and also intermediate data analysis and later on machine learning techniques.
Okay.
One course, the course number 2 is dedicated for that purpose only. We are not just jumping, we are not assuming that everyone knows Python. We are assuming that everyone doesn't know Python. They're coming from different backgrounds, whether technical background, non-technical background, programming background. They're coming from various backgrounds, and that's how the diversity of the students is very important. That is what is required. So therefore, we have put dedicated 1 month to take all the students and make them aware and make them, conversant with this tool called Python. And believe me, at the end of it, you will be able to challenge even some good programmers.
Fine.
Who are in the industry.
That's cool, sir. Why I asked this question is because, like, see, frankly, I'll speak with you. Like, even I don't know the advanced, whatever the tools which will be used in the Excel even. That's the basic one. But even the advanced tools, I don't know in the Excel. So I wanted to know, like, in comparative with that, Python is a bit advanced version. So how it will be? Whether I'll be able to cope up or not?
See, Python is pure English.
Okay.
Okay. I can say that, if you know, I mean, not know, I mean, it is just English. If you look through a Python code, it's all English. That's it. In Excel, there is nothing, no language. There is nothing. You have to sort of, you can't put any, beyond a point, you can't put too much of English. But Python is pure English.
Okay.
It is English. That's it. Just keep it in your mind. We are conversing in English, so you will after 1 month on that course, post that you will start conversing with other people in Python because it is English.
Okay.
I'm putting it in a very different context, but I hope you understand what I'm trying.
No, I got it, sir. I got it completely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, Akanksha, did you have a question? I see your hand raised or the question there. Or did you already ask?
And ma'am, do you have a course on ML also or only on DA?
We have an ML program.
Okay.
So we will be launching it soon.
Acha, and how about it? Like, will it be in cooperation with any of the universities as this one is?
Absolutely.
With University of Houston, something like that, or how?
Yes, University of Houston. Yes.
Okay, the same university will be providing us.
University. Yes.
Okay.
It's good to hear from you that we'll have a course in ML, because now in your mind you're very clear that this is not an ML program but it is a data analysis program. So it's good. I'm quite impressed with your.
No, sir, because like with marketing we use many of the strategies, and I want to see. The thing is like as ma'am said, basically why I want to learn is like if I hire someone else, if he does any wrong at some point of time, I should be able to analyze that.
Absolutely, you have hit the nail perfectly. I mean, absolutely, this is something which empowers that person or whoever has learned it in either in managing or counseling or or doing things on their own. So it's a skill which you acquire, and you can then have different flavors of that in business.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thanks a lot for the answer.
Yeah.
And I didn't get your name, sir. Sorry.
I'm Joydeep Praha.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Akanksha, would you have a question? I think we are almost at 10 o'clock, and if unless you guys have a question, we can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Just one question. I'm a fresher from a BE computer background. So how is going to help me for growing my future? And I know the content of course.
Joydeep, would you like to take that? Joydeep, can you hear me?
One sec. Yeah. Sorry, I just accidentally kept it on. Yeah. So Akanksha, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Akanksha, since you're a fresher from computer science background, you have an advantage because you are already familiar with certain programs, computers, laptops.
Yeah. I have basic idea about Python.
So you have an advantage. Now, having said this, I would like to know in which domain or in which area you would aspire to work. Is it in finance domain or any other domain? Believe me, whatever domain you would like to work, this data science, this program on data analytics is as Pinkesh said and Menika also sort of referred to it, is agnostic of any domain.
Okay.
So any business nowadays, any business which generates data. Even I'm talking about businesses which are like, when I'm speaking, I'm also generating data because converted into data is unstructured data, right?
Yes.
So anything you can think of, okay, is data, is whether it's a structured data or unstructured data.
Yes.
So whenever you would, after acquiring these skills, you can get into any domain, any industry which requires data or which generates data and from where you can add value to that company with respect to the skills which you have acquired. Number one. Number two is that other way of looking at it is that you can go to any company and tell them that please look at data, and you can be a mentor for that company, saying that, you know, or transit them into data-led thinking, which Pinkesh was talking about. So there are huge opportunities. Either you can go and actively participate in value creation with a company who is using existing data, or you can go and, you know, mentor a particular company or mentor a particular set of a team where you will be working into transiting them into data-led decision makings. And believe me, a lot of companies are struggling to move from non-data-led decision making to data-led. It's not so easy, and that's where you can play a very important role. So you can decide on which way you can look at it post your, you know, after completing this program, and then, you know, once you go into the corporate sector, or even in your business, or as other source of business skills.
Okay.
So this is quite an universal skill which is applicable to any form of business. Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody has a question in the chat window? I see something. What should we learn first, DA or ML for a beginner?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
so it has to be, before coming to ML, you have to learn DA, because you need to have a complete command over the data. And only you will be able to make sense of what, make sense of ML techniques. As I said, you know, DA is descriptive. What happened? You should know the context, right? What happened? You should know the context. Unless you don't know the context, how will you say what will happen? What will happen is ML, right? Predictive. You're predicting. So you need to know. So for you to say I'm giving you an analogy of a doctor. When you go to a doctor will not just look at your face and give you a medicine, right? Doctor will say, okay, you tell the symptoms. So based on the symptoms, the doctor will say, okay, can you do these tests, blood tests, whatever test, okay? And come back to me with a report. So those tests are nothing but, you know, DA, which are data analytics. Based on the test, the doctor thinks that, you know, you have a certain whatever. Either he says that you are okay, don't worry, these are, you know, no need of medicines, or the doctor says no, I think he will prescribe something. So he is making, based on the data, he is making a prediction about your health, and then giving you medicines, which is nothing but prescriptive.
Okay.
So you need to know DA beforehand before going into ML.
Fine.
It's not about just, you know, taking a set of data set and putting an algorithm with 5 lines of command and then say this is my predictive thing. I mean, I know that there's a whole lot of shortcuts which lot of you know, is being sort of preached, but believe me, you need to go step by step. Then only you will be able to understand the process and be a good data scientist, rather than just be someone who can know a few codes and know a few algorithms and can do some magic with their fingers and try to impress her. That won't work. That doesn't work.
Right, sir, right. Because now why I asked this question was like, someone, I too just got the news, like I too just got the information, like ML is somewhat a bit related to coding, they said. And I was like a bit hesitant with the coding. I don't want to get into so much of coding, because I even left C programming at my 12th.
On the contrary, if you know, see, coding, as I said, is a tool. Coding is Python, you know, you Python coding or C++ or R coding. And that's a tool. You will need that in DA. You will need that in ML as well. Because see, coding is nothing but it gives you. It's a technique where you can manipulate the data. You can use the data the way you want to use it. You know, Excel is also a tool, right? So for analyzing, so let's look at it in other way. If you have given a data, what will you do? You will put it in an Excel sheet. That's a tool.
Right.
Similarly, if you're given a data, you will put it in a Python tool. That's a tool. That's it.
Right, sir.
So it can be used in ML. It is also used in DA, both. And further going forward, it can be used in deep learning and artificial. So please take this coding out, because coding is a tool. I mean, that's something which is used universally through different programming languages to extract data, to mine data, to represent data, to visualize data, to predict on data. So that's a tool on which you do all these functions, all these operations. So it will be required in machine learning, it will be required in data analytics, and if you go step by step, if you know the coding for data analytics, I'm sure you will not need to know any further coding for machine learning. That knowledge which you have gained in coding, Python coding, with respect to data analytics, that is more than enough to take you to the machine learning. So you don't have to incrementally learn more things in Python, because Python, one of the advantages of Python is that it has got fantastic libraries. I'm sure you would be knowing what is a library.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So because of that, lot of the job of lot of people is simplified. You don't have to write lines and lines and tons of codes. You need to know which library to use, why to use, when to use, and how to interpret. That's it. And that's what training is all about.
So it's just like a simple language. So we put some words and it becomes a beautiful.
Yeah, it's a magic. You put some English words.
Yeah.
Then it turns out something which you think is right, and then you sort of go ahead and move to the next level.
Fine, sir, fine. Okay, so the tools will be taught from scratch.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The second module, the second course is 1 month. This 1 month is dedicated in that course, which will be tools, which is Python and SQL. These are the two tools which will be sort of taking it. Okay.
Fine, sir, fine.
And it will be taught from the scratch.
Okay.
So we'll take one more question and close the session for tonight. So we have a question from Pavan. Pavan is asking for the salary package for a fresher after course completion, and is your certificate recognized with government body or corporate body? And what will be the scope in Hyderabad for fresher after COVID-19? So Joydeep, can I take this?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So Pavan, the salary package, so let me tell you, in the data analytics space, the salary, it can be a minimum of say 5 lakh per annum, and it runs down to crores. Like, when you are an AI expert, machine learning expert, as you grow in your career path, it runs down to millions. So there is no upper limit. There is no upper limit for sure. So, but so again, the salary for each one of you who are attending this session in this group will vary drastically depending on your background, your educational background, your experience till now, and a lot of other things are there. The companies you actually approach, for an interview, the companies that call you for an interview, how you perform. So many factors go into it. But let's take a very conservative figure. It can be anywhere between 5 to 7 lakhs per annum to start with. And so the second thing, this is a very conservative, and I'm not sure if it will go down if you're joining a very small, startup firm which is just starting. It might be even lesser. But what I would say is the most important thing right now for anybody is to get experience, because even if you get a small package, get that job, get that data analysis experience, because after say 1 year of experience, then you earn, the compensation is what you ask for. It's not the company that decides. You can demand a compensation, but before you demand, you need to make sure that you deserve it, right? Like, you need to really upskill yourselves and show the company that you are going to bring a lot of value to that company. So that is about the salary package. And this certification is from the University of Houston. Yes, of course. So University of Houston, as I told you, it's a tier 1 university. This is accepted all over the world. So there is no like government organization, corporate, there's no difference. It is, it's like, one of the best universities in the world. So it is accepted everywhere. And the scope in Hyderabad, I don't know much about Hyderabad, but with whatever little I know, Andhra Pradesh is a state that is developing big time. And today in India, the one government that uses data analytics or machine learning and artificial intelligence to the max for the city development, for the state development is Andhra Pradesh. So this, we have people in our industry council, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning experts who are helping the Andhra government design the traffic rules. And this thing, I know that Andhra government is heavily invested in the new technology and everything. So my outlook for Hyderabad is quite good. I think you will have quite a good scope in Hyderabad, but I would say keep your mind open. The first job which you want to land, wherever it is, take it up, gain experience. Then you can go for any kind of settling down in a place or anything. Prerequisite for this program. No, for the data analytics, we are not asking for too much of a prerequisite. See, basically, we want people, say if you have 1 year of experience or if you're an engineering graduate, it is okay. We want to make sure that when you go through this program, you understand certain concepts. For example, there are people who may not have done a graduation, but they understand business. So why are we learning data science? Or why are we even doing this program, data analytics? Because you can help some business segment do some analysis, right? So you should understand the basic concepts of how a company runs, how a business runs. So that is the prerequisite for this program. But yes, of course, when we move on to ML and AI, you will again go through business statistics and the basics of data analysis. Then only you will move on to the next part of it. I hope that answers your question, Pavan. And any more questions or doubts you have, I have shared a link, so you can go book an appointment with the counselor, or the QR code, you can use that. And intermediate percentage, VHM percentage. Yeah, that sounds good, Pavan. You have a 78%. So that sounds good. Please, yes, we can accept that. Not a problem. Yeah, I understand that you have a 4 years unemployment gap. So that is the reason you may have to. So that is the reason why you should learn a skill for sure. And that is the reason, why you should be a little flexible when you do your first stint. So I would suggest, you start looking at this financial analysis firms actively, even if they are not, paying too much right away. Please get that experience. And then, then you can build your career in no problem. You're weak in maths and statistics. So that's, let's see, it's not a big problem. See, statistics is absolutely necessary. You might have been weak earlier, but are you willing to work hard? And let me assure you one thing, this is not like going to be, it's very easy. You don't put in any effort, you can become a data analyst. It's not like that. You have to put in your effort. Right, Professor Joydeep, you would agree with me, right? I mean, it's not going to happen without the students putting in that effort.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, you have to put that effort, and we will also, from our side, we will also, help you in motivating you, and also give you, motivate you in the right direction. That's the whole objective of this course, but the effort has to come from you as well.
So we will handhold you. We will take, there will be skill mentors. Professor Joydeep will be there. Everybody will help you with multiple assignments, questions, multiple sessions, everything. But the basic effort has to come from your end.
And trust me, if you're saying you're weak in statistics, the first module, which is on business statistics, starts from the basic of mean, median, mode. I'm sure you all know what is mean, what is median. So it starts from ground zero. I mean, it starts from basics. So please don't have this notion that if you are weak, nobody is weak or strong. It's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of where you want to focus and build your interest. We are there to handhold you. We are there to guide you, and we expect that you also put in similar type of an effort. And I'm sure with this, we will be able to sort of, go past all the courses in the program. Yeah.
Great. So I think we need to close for the day. We have overshot by 15 minutes. So thank you, everyone. If you need to know anything more, please feel free to reach out to us. So you can, go to the website, and every detail is available there. How you can talk to one of us, or one of our colleague will reach out to you. Please feel free to reach out to us for anything. We will keep such sessions again and again, but right now we need to close this session. Professor Jolly, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And
thank you everyone for the lovely questions, and I hope I have been able to solve a lot of doubts which you all have. Please feel free to interact with all of us, and we will sort of try to solve whatever further incremental doubts which you have in your which you have with you now. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and good night.